Chest pain, a racing heart, a wave of fear that seems to come from nowhere. How do you know if it's a heart attack or just anxiety? For seniors, knowing the difference isn't just a matter of curiosity, it could save your life. It's a question that sends a chill down the spine, one that many of us over 60 have quietly asked ourselves in a moment of panic. You feel that strange sensation in your chest, your breath catches, and your mind starts to race. Is this it? Is this the big one? Or is it just my nerves getting the better of me? The uncertainty itself can make everything feel 100 times worse. Many seniors experience chest discomfort and worry. Is it my heart or a panic attack? It's one of the most frightening moments you can go through, and the fear of making the wrong choice, of either rushing to the emergency room for nothing or far worse, is staying home when you shouldn't, is very real. But you are not alone in this feeling, and there is a way to find clarity. Here's a simple guide to help you tell them apart and know exactly when to seek help. We're going to walk through this together step by step so that you can feel empowered with knowledge, not paralyzed by fear. Before we jump in, if you care about staying healthy, active, and independent for years to come, take a moment to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notifications. We share the kind of practical health tips for seniors that doctors often don't have time to explain, and our goal is to help you thrive. And I'm always so curious about our wonderful community here. Are you watching from the United States, maybe Canada, the UK, or somewhere else in the world? Go ahead and drop a comment below to let me know where you're from. It's always incredible to see how far this family of health-conscious seniors reaches. All right, let's get to the heart of the matter. We're going to break this down into 5 key areas that can help you distinguish between a heart attack and a panic attack. Let's start with the very beginning of the episode, the onset and the triggers. First, let's talk about the onset and triggers. How did it all begin? The context surrounding the event is one of your most important clues. Let's talk about a heart attack first. One of the scariest things about a heart attack is that it can seem to come out of absolutely nowhere. You could be sitting in your favorite armchair reading the newspaper, you could be tending to your garden on a peaceful afternoon, or you could even be sound asleep in the middle of the night. A heart attack occurs because there's a physical problem. A blockage in an artery is cutting off blood flow and oxygen to your heart muscle. This blockage doesn't care if you're stressed or relaxed. It can happen at any time during any activity. Think of it like a plumbing problem in your house. A pipe can get clogged and burst whether you're having a party or the house is empty. The physical issue is the problem, not the emotional atmosphere. So if you experience sudden, unexplained chest pain while you're at rest, that should be a significant red flag. I remember a story about a gentleman named Arthur. He was 72 and was watching a baseball game with his grandson. He was happy, relaxed, and enjoying the day. Suddenly, he felt what he described as an elephant sitting on his chest. There was no argument, no bad news, no reason for him to be anxious. That lack of an emotional trigger was a key sign that something physical and urgent was happening. His daughter thankfully recognized this and called 911 immediately. Now let's contrast that with a panic attack. While a panic attack can sometimes feel like it comes out of the blue, it is often, though, not always linked to a trigger. A panic attack is an intense and sudden surge of the body's fight or flight response. Your brain mistakenly believes you are in mortal danger and floods your body with adrenaline. This can be set off by periods of high stress, a specific phobia, or an overwhelming situation. Maybe you just had a difficult phone call with a family member. Perhaps you were stuck in heavy traffic and started to feel claustrophobic. Maybe you've been worrying for weeks about a medical appointment or financial issues, and that background anxiety finally boils over. Let me paint a picture. Imagine a woman named Carol, 68 years old. She's preparing to host a big family dinner, and things are starting to go wrong. The casserole is burning, guests are arriving early, and she feels completely overwhelmed. Suddenly, her heart starts pounding, she feels dizzy, and a sharp pain stabs her in the chest. In her mind, she's not just burning dinner, she's failing, and the stress becomes unbearable. Her body reacts as if a tiger just walked into the kitchen. The trigger was emotional and situational stress. Once her son helped her sit down, took her to a quiet room, and had her focus on her breathing, the feeling peaked and then started to fade as the adrenaline subsided. So the first question to ask yourself is, what was I doing and feeling right before this started? Was I calm and at rest, or was I in the middle of a stressful or anxiety-provoking situation? A heart attack is a mechanical failure. A panic attack is a false alarm. The context can give you your first and most valuable clue, but it's just the first piece of the puzzle. Now let's move on to the second critical difference, the quality of the pain. This is where the physical sensations themselves can tell you a powerful story. The word pain is tricky because it means different things to different people, but the type of feeling you're experiencing is incredibly important here. With a heart attack, the classic description you hear is often not a sharp pain at all. Instead, people describe it as an intense pressure, a squeezing, a crushing weight, or a heavy ache right in the center or left side of the chest. It's that feeling I mentioned with Arthur, like an elephant is sitting on you. It's a deep, visceral, and profoundly uncomfortable sensation. Many people don't even use the word pain. They say discomfort, heaviness, or fullness. And here's another key distinction that feeling often radiates. It doesn't stay put. The pain from a heart attack can travel from the chest into other parts of your upper body. You might feel it moving up into your jaw, causing an ache that feels like a bad toothache. It can travel down your left arm, though sometimes it can be the right arm or both. It can also radiate to your back between your shoulder blades or even into your neck and stomach. This radiating sensation happens because the nerves connected to your heart share pathways with nerves from these other areas, and your brain gets confused about the origin of the pain signal. It's also important to know that for women, heart attack symptoms can be even more subtle. While they can certainly experience that classic chest pressure, they are more likely than men to experience the other symptoms, as their primary complaint like shortness of breath, nausea and pain in the back, or jaw sometimes with very little obvious chest discomfort at all. Now let's compare that to the pain of a panic attack. A panic attack pain is often described very differently. It's frequently sharp stabbing or even burning. It might feel like a knife is jabbing you. Unlike the widespread pressure of a heart attack, this pain is often more localized. You can point to one specific spot in your chest where it hurts the most. It usually stays in that one area and doesn't radiate out to your arms, jaw, or back in that classic heart attack pattern. Think of it this way: a heart attack pain feels deep, heavy, and expansive. A panic attack pain often feels more superficial, sharp, and contained. During a panic attack, because you're hyperventilating, breathing too fast and shallowly, you can get cramps in your intercostal muscles, which are the small muscles between your ribs. This can cause a very real, very sharp pain, but it's a muscular pain, not a pain originating from your heart muscle being starved of oxygen. So when you feel that sensation, try to put a name to it. Is it a crushing weight that seems to be spreading, or is it a sharp stab that you can pinpoint? Is it an ache deep in your bones or a jolt in the muscles of your chest wall? Paying close attention to the quality of the pain can offer you another vital clue. Growing older doesn't mean giving up on understanding your body. It means using smarter strategies and listening more closely to the signals it sends you. The difference between a squeeze and a stab could be one of the most important things you ever learn. Okay, moving on to our third point, which is all about time, the duration of the event. How long the symptoms last is a major differentiator between a heart attack and a panic attack. The timeline of the episode follows a very different pattern for each. Let's focus on a heart attack. The symptoms of a heart attack are relentless. The pain and discomfort don't just go away on their own after a few minutes. They persist. A heart attack is a continuous event where the heart muscle is being damaged minute by minute. Therefore, the symptoms will last. They might fluctuate a little, getting slightly more intense, then easing a bit, then coming back with a vengeance, but they won't disappear. Generally, if the symptoms are due to a heart attack, they will last for more than 10 to 15 minutes and will not improve with rest or changing your position. In fact, they may get progressively worse over time. This persistence is the key. Your body is sending a sustained, desperate alarm signal because it's in real trouble. It's not a fleeting feeling. It's a state of being that sets in and doesn't leave. If you've been feeling that chest pressure for 20 minutes, 30 minutes or longer, and it's not letting up, the odds of it being a heart attack increase dramatically. It's not a wave that comes and goes. It's a tide that comes in and stays in. Now let's look at the timeline of a panic attack. A panic attack is, by its nature, a peak and valley experience. It comes on very suddenly and escalates to its most intense point very quickly, usually within about 10 minutes. During those 10 minutes, you feel an overwhelming sense of terror, and the physical symptoms are at their absolute worst. You might genuinely believe you are about to die. But here's the crucial difference. After it hits that peak, a panic attack begins to subside. The adrenaline in your system gets metabolized, your brain starts to recognize it was a false alarm, and the symptoms begin to fade away. The whole episode from start to finish typically lasts between 20 to 30 minutes, with the worst of it being that initial 10-minute peak. It doesn't go on for hours. Once the peak is over, you're left feeling shaky, exhausted, and drained. But the acute, terrifying symptoms, the stabbing chest pain, the intense fear have passed. So think of a panic attack like a very steep mountain. You scramble up to the peak incredibly fast, teeter there for a few moments in pure terror, and then you come down the other side. A heart attack is more like being caught in a storm that settles in over you and refuses to move on. If you're ever in this situation, look at a clock. If the intense symptoms hit you and then start to fade significantly after 10 or 15 minutes, it's more characteristic of a panic attack. But if that pressure and discomfort are still there unabated 20 minutes later, that is a much more ominous sign. I hope you're finding these distinctions helpful. It might feel a bit unsettling to learn all this, but remember, knowledge is power. Now that you know these patterns, you can make simple observations to protect your health. And by the way, if you're finding these tips useful so far, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps spread the word to other seniors who might benefit, and it lets me know that we're on the right track with our content. And if you haven't yet, do subscribe for more little-known health insights. We have more to cover. Let's dive into our fourth section, the other symptoms that come along for the ride. Often it's not just about the chest pain. The accompanying symptoms, the sidekicks to the main event, can be one of the clearest ways to tell what's really going on. Your body will give you a constellation of clues, not just a single star. Let's look at the cluster of symptoms associated with a heart attack. Because your heart is struggling to pump blood effectively, other systems in your body are immediately affected. One of the most common signs is shortness of breath. You might feel like you've just run a marathon even though you've only walked from the kitchen to the living room. You can't seem to catch your breath no matter how deeply you try to breathe. This happens because your heart can't pump oxygenated blood efficiently, and fluid can even back up into your lungs. Another classic sign is breaking out in a cold sweat. Your skin might feel clammy and cool to the touch, even if the room isn't warm. This is your body's stress response kicking in, but it's a different kind of sweat than you'd get from exercise. It's a nervous, clammy feeling. Nausea or stomach discomfort is also very common, especially in women. You might feel sick to your stomach, like you need to vomit. Some people mistake this for a bad case of indigestion or food poisoning, which is why it can be so dangerous. They might reach for an antacid instead of the phone. And finally, there's an overwhelming, profound sense of fatigue or lightheadedness. Your body is diverting all its resources to deal with the crisis in your heart, leaving you feeling incredibly weak, dizzy, or even on the verge of fainting. The combination of chest pressure, shortness of breath, a cold sweat, and nausea is the classic textbook presentation of a heart attack. Now let's look at the other symptoms of a panic attack. While there can be some overlap, like shortness of breath, the overall collection of symptoms has a distinctly different flavor. It's more neurological and psychological. During a panic attack, you're more likely to experience trembling or shaking. Your hands might be visibly quivering. You might feel tingling or numbness, especially in your hands, feet, or around your mouth. This is a direct result of hyperventilation, which changes the carbon dioxide levels in your blood and affects your nerve endings. There's also a powerful psychological component that is unique to a panic attack. You might feel a profound sense of derealization or depersonalization, a feeling of being detached from reality, as if you're watching yourself in a movie, or that the world around you isn't real. This is a hallmark of a panic attack and is not typically associated with a heart attack. And most tellingly, a panic attack is almost always accompanied by an intense, all-consuming fear of dying, going crazy, or losing complete control. While someone having a heart attack is certainly scared, their focus is often on the physical sensations. For someone in the throes of a panic attack, the overwhelming symptom is the terror itself. The fear is the engine driving the entire experience. So take a mental inventory of your whole body. Are you feeling nauseous and breaking out in a cold sweat that points more toward the heart? Are you trembling, feeling tingling sensations, and feel like you're detached from reality that points more toward panic? The companion symptoms are telling a huge part of the story. Finally, let's look at our fifth clue, what brings relief. How your body responds to simple interventions can be the final piece of evidence you need to solve the puzzle. Let's start with a heart attack. Because a heart attack is a physical blockage, your attempts to calm yourself down won't fix the underlying problem. Deep breathing exercises, while generally good for you, will not stop a heart attack. Changing your position, sitting up, lying down, pacing the room, will not make the pressure in your chest go away. Splashing water on your face or trying to meditate through it will not work. The problem is mechanical. The plumbing is blocked. The only thing that will bring relief is medical intervention to restore blood flow to the heart, like medications that dissolve clots or procedures like an angioplasty. If you've tried some calming techniques and the symptoms are not easing up one bit, you must take that seriously. Now think about a panic attack. Because a panic attack is fueled by the fight or flight response, and hyperventilation calming techniques can actually be very effective. The goal is to signal to your brain that the perceived threat is gone. One of the most powerful tools is controlled slow breathing. When you hyperventilate during a panic attack, you exhale too much carbon dioxide. By consciously slowing your breathing, for example, breathing in for a count of 4, holding for a count of 4, and breathing out for a count of 6, you can help restore the proper balance of gases in your blood. This can reduce the tingling, the dizziness, and the lightheadedness. Grounding techniques can also help. This involves focusing your senses on the present moment to pull your mind out of its panic spiral. You could focus on the feeling of your feet flat on the floor, the texture of the chair you're sitting in, or look around the room and name 5 things you can see. By redirecting your focus, you can interrupt the feedback loop of fear that fuels the attack. If your symptoms start to ease when you practice slow, deliberate breathing or use a grounding technique, it is a very strong sign that you are experiencing a panic attack. Your body is responding to the signal that the danger has passed. The false alarm is being switched off. So if you're in that moment of uncertainty, try taking a few slow, deep belly breaths. If there's even a slight improvement, that's a good sign. But if you try this and that crushing weight in your chest remains completely unchanged, that is your body telling you this is not a problem that can be solved with your mind. It needs a doctor. Now we've gone through all 5 of the key differences, but I need to pause here and share the single most important piece of advice in this entire video. This is the golden rule, the one thing you must burn into your memory. The ultimate safety rule: when in doubt, get checked out. I have given you all these clues: onset, pain, quality, duration, other symptoms, and what brings relief to help you be more informed. But they are just guides. They are not a substitute for a medical diagnosis. The symptoms of heart attacks and panic attacks can overlap, and heart attacks, especially in women and older adults, can present in very unusual ways. So here is the unbreakable rule. If your chest pain or discomfort lasts for more than 5 minutes and you are not sure what it is, you must call your local emergency services in the United States, that's 911, immediately. Do not drive yourself. Do not ask a spouse or a friend to drive you. Call an ambulance. The paramedics can begin life-saving treatment the moment they arrive, and that can make all the difference in the world to your outcome. It is always, always, always better to be safe than sorry. It is better to have a false alarm and feel a little embarrassed at the emergency room than to have a real alarm and suffer irreversible heart damage or worse at home. No doctor or paramedic will ever be upset with you for calling. They would much rather see 100 people who are just having a panic attack than miss the one person who is having a heart attack. Your health is simply too important to risk. If you have risk factors for heart disease like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, a history of smoking, or a family history of heart problems, you need to be even more vigilant. Don't second guess yourself. Don't wait. Don't try to be tough. Make the call. Let's quickly recap what we've learned. A heart attack often starts during rest, feels like a heavy crushing pressure that radiates to the arm or jaw, lasts for more than 15 minutes, and is accompanied by shortness of breath, a cold sweat, and nausea. It does not get better with breathing exercises. A panic attack is often triggered by stress, feels like a sharp stabbing pain. In one spot, peaks within 10 minutes and then fades and is accompanied by trembling, tingling, and an intense fear of dying or losing control. It may improve with calming techniques. Remembering these key differences can give you a framework, but it doesn't replace the ultimate safety rule. So let's bring it all home. The fear that grips you when you feel that pain in your chest is real and valid. It's your body's alarm system, and it's meant to get your attention. Your job is not to be a perfect diagnostician in that moment of crisis. Your job is to listen to that alarm and take the safest possible action. Don't guess when in doubt, get checked out. Your health is too important to risk. I know getting older comes with its own set of worries and challenges. The aches, the pains, the fear of losing your strength and independence, it can be incredibly discouraging. But you are not helpless in this journey. By arming yourself with knowledge like the information we've shared today, you are taking back control. Every little bit you learn, every small, smart choice you make is an investment in your future, a future where you are strong, confident, and able to live your life to the fullest. It's not too late to make a change or learn a new way to care for yourself. Growing older doesn't mean giving up. It means using smarter strategies. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these distinctions between a heart attack and a panic attack was the most surprising or helpful for you to learn? Please share your thoughts or any questions you might have in the comments section below. I do my best to read every single one, and our community learns so much from each other's experiences and wisdom. If this video helped you feel more prepared and less afraid, please hit that like button. It truly means the world to me, and it helps YouTube show this important information to other seniors who really need to see it. And of course, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell. We have so many more science-backed practical tips coming your way to help you thrive in your golden years, because your health and your independence are absolutely worth fighting for. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Stay safe, stay informed, and remember to always listen to your body. It's the wisest friend you'll ever have.